How many lives does a cat have? If a cat lives eternally, the cat has one life. To have 9 lives means to survive, though you would think otherwise. To survive against the odds. We see that the traits of the cat are actually very attractive to people. Cats are role models to many successful people, which contradicts the fact that a lot of people dislike the cat as an animal, maybe because of an identification, but people are not conscious about it. Then it is because they cannot get the cat under their control. Cats go their own ways. They do not like to be owned or to live under the authority of people's command. People like what they understand. People dislike what they do not understand. And people want to be what a being is when there's a great deal of identification or lust for identification. Especially when it comes to being independent and not to be led, especially leaders who like to lead and have people beneath to control. It makes the identifiers wish to destroy the uncontrollables, the beings who make insecure, who gives a feeling of not being able to lead and control their surroundings. What if the independency is of a different kind? If the way of leading does not wish to categorize or control the individual eyes? What if going your own way means going to places where the identifiers cannot go because the road is hidden and the way leading to the road is paved only to the individual eye, paving the road ahead on the individual's own? How does the cat feel when the cat purrs? How does the mysterious cat make the sound that comforts both the cat and the surroundings? Probably there's a biological explanation, but most physical traits have a purpose to them. Why do human beings speak and cry, laugh, sing, and animals do not, except bird song? Then why does the cat purr? The sound is deep-pitched, a strange sound that does not resemble the sound of beings generally. What if you had thousands of cats in a room and they all were purring at the same time? What would it sound like? And how would it feel to us human beings? Cats are said, apparently, to have healing powers. The sound of the purr. Can the sound be imitated somehow? Not with the voice necessarily, but using some types of construction made by earth materials. The deep-pitched, vibrating sound. Would it be as a blow through a flute-like instrument, or a metal drum, or using natural forces somehow in nature through some type of device, emphasizing the powers of, for example, the wind, the flapping of wings made by Egyptian cat people. Light, the light of Ra, the sun god, light reflected through material, rightly emphasizing the rays in multiple directions. The rays that made and makes plants grow. We are made from sun rays, from the rays penetration of plants entering our bodies to nourish healthily. How did the spread of rays vitalize? The rays through material that let the light up with a star spread of rays, chandelier-like. Did the rays heal? How do sun rays vitalize if they did so? What happens to light when spread through a diamond or something that spreads the rays of light widely? What does it do to the mind, the eye, to be devoted, to speak words that build up in contrast to tearing down? Is it sometimes necessary to tear down with words, and when tearing down with words and buildings built by bricks that create imprisonment are torn down, showing us the space that was occupied by walls made by bricks of barriers? The space frees, which is painful to like us of the finite, of the end. what if you said about a 2025 guy that he was to enter and do whatever he wishes to do in 2025 language, that a guy is invited in to do what he wants to do? From the books of the dead, papyrus from ancient Egypt, pyramidal times, devoted, filled with declarations of love and poetic expressions. It sounds different if it was to be said to a 2025 guy, since love is for sale, and to be devoted and loving are out of fashion nowadays. How healthy is it to remove love from the relations between living beings? And many women seem to feel comfortable with the position, having become accustomed to being led by the male, because removing the male as the leader would free the space above them, feeling the infinite breath of a more masculine type of leader, the divine breath of the universe that makes also women flourish, making males wish to become more masculine in an attempt to represent the same type of masculinity, women the femininity that resembles the powers of the divine, original forces of our genders. It seems to be enough for many women to be the miniature example of the women, and thereby the male also. So, having made male earthly, inferior, self-made God male, not even having a role model that is larger than the size in meters and centimeters, the size of the head and brain. Imagine the space we move and breathe in, being, moving, breathing in the same space, also the powerful breath of the divine, making us silently and in utterances feel what binds us together, that between us, around us, breathes the divine sparkling universe, larger than Earth, larger than our solar system, larger than the Milky Way, larger than the Milky Way and neighbor galaxies, making us devoted to the breath of creation and the breath of creation in each living being. To realize that Nietzsche was not right about God being dead, but about the people having lost interest in God. Though divinity never stopped caring about every living thing and being in the universe, God and the divine died in the minds of many people. The result is easy to recognize in the behavior. HR, PR, HD, HP, PDF, PhD, and every combination. Without love, the divine purpose, Homo sapiens, loses parts of its being, retarding backwards or sideways to an unsynchronized existence of being lost, unattached to the fact that Earth, like every planet in the universe, is in fact a minor piece in the universal puzzle, as if people believe the space on Earth is not in space that surrounds Earth. If there was a recognition of space, the outer surrounding Earth, we would on Earth, every one of us, feel like kneeling down, humbled by the great force of creation in the universe as a whole, not being so aggressive towards those who have a purpose that is grander than themselves, ourselves, in a cooperation with the history and the religious text that speaks of times of people who felt the greatness of having been created, who knew about the mysterious forces of the infinite, when everything was not so finite in its breathing and not so down to earth that it seems like breathing goes on in the lower regions of bodies when the brain activity is not in fashion and the vibrations felt seem to be in a state of how low can the vibration go to secrete places in the bodies where emotions are not existing. There's only moaning in beds. An attempt to get people to care about people they are talking to have them listen, see, feel is very difficult a task, since people have been put into a slumber of indifference, a lack of comprehension, a lack of values and respect for fellow beings. Too much fast food for the senses makes people lazy and incoherent in relation to values, equals laws, equals direction.